why am I having such a hard time talking? If I did bring anything, welcome back out to the shop. My name is Mark, and this is the Malarkey Taylor channel. Today, I have nothing special planned, but it's a Saturday, so we will see what we get into. I got a couple things I really want to get done. Went and picked up a canopy to cover my camper, and now I got to make room for that so that I can get it up over top of the camper and get the camper into that spot. And so there's a lot of stuff that I got to do. Again, not a whole lot of stuff that is going on in the shop, but I will tell you one thing that is probably coming up soon that was unexpected. Some of you might recognize. This is the infamous Betsy Ross Jeep, and it seems to have developed a little bit of an oil leak, so we got to get that taken care of. It's starting to leave drips all over my driveway, and we're not sure where it's coming from. So Mara pulled it up here. We're gonna get it greased and degreased and cleaned, and then try to figure out where the oil is coming from, and then maybe, just maybe, in the next couple of weeks we'll get some of the body parts switched over to it so we can finish this project up. I don't know if we're gonna... She's been driving it a lot, and she's been loving it, but I don't know if we're gonna keep it, and I'm not sure if she's gonna keep driving it or if we're gonna get rid of the other car, or this is crazy, but I don't know. Winter's coming, and she's in college, and this gets absolutely terrible fuel economy. So, but she loves it a lot. So that says something. But it's not finished, so we'll get to it. But anyway, stuff I've got to try to clean up. I've got these bins out here. You've probably seen them in other videos. They're just chock full of crap, and I've been trying to get them emptied for a while now. I loaded them up with Jeep parts when we were working on Betsy Ross, and then they started collecting other parts and electronics and hard drives and power supplies and other things that have, like, you know, a couple pennies in scrap value. So I just hang on to them, and they're better if they're dry because I don't like working on them if they're wet. But this whole row of crap here has to go, and then we can put that over top of the camper, which used to park there a long time ago. Camper used to park there all the time, and we're gonna put it back. So, but first things first, let's go get the tires out of the back of the truck. Some of these tires, I am not 100% sure where they came from, but they did come from, and that's a downside of wheeling and dealing, is you end up with some extra wheels and some extra tires. So today I'm going to take these over to a friend's house who has a tire machine, so I can strip the rims out of them, and then I've got to go pay to get rid of the tires, and then I can put the rims on the scrap or save pile. So some of the rims I want to keep, some of them are scrap metal, and I don't want them. So that's what we're going to go do now. I'm going to go try to find Harlan. Then we got to haul these tires up and down a bunch of stairs. So here we go. Okay, well, we got that done. I have some trailer wheels that I think I'm going to try to keep, just in case I want to put tires on them and put them back on the trailer. I have some junk steel that we got to get rid of, and I have some aluminum. These aluminum are actually the first set of custom wheels that I ever bought to put on a car. They went on my first car. Well, it wasn't my first car, like third or fourth car, but it was the first time I went out and bought brand new wheels and tires and customized the car to my liking. I ended up taking them off and giving them to my brother who ran them for a while. Then I ran them on my Jeep for a while, and then anyway, I think that they've run their course now and are probably good to go for scrap metal. But anyway, aluminum, steel, and then keep. And then we can go for another scrap run here soon. I got some more aluminum over there, but I got to get some more stuff done out of that cabinet. But that took a lot longer than I wanted. There were 17 wheels and tires, and
5 hours.
4 of them were really hard to get off. They were really bad. So about 4.5, 5 hours worth of time, but we got the tires dropped off at the local tire shop and paid to get rid of them so that we don't have to worry about burning them or anything toxic or bad for the environment. So doing the right thing and getting rid of them the right way. Probably-ish, yeah. On to the next thing. Okay, so we had a slight ADHD break today. Stopped down to the basement. My wife was cleaning, had to help do that, but got some stuff out of there. Now we're back out here. I started grabbing some of the parts and bits and things out of this area here. This is what I'm trying to clean up. Got this kind of stuff. It's just like, it's copper windings and stuff. I gotta find the right recycler for it. There's a recycler that does electronics. It's like an hour drive from my house, so I have to collect and make sure that I'm doing the best efficiencies on that. Which means that it's time to get the hard drives gone. So the hard drives have to do a certain process on them. I think I've done this on my channel before. I'll show you. I'll just set up the time lapse. We'll buzz through those guys real quick. It's nothing fancy, but what we're doing here now is we are going to be getting rid of the data, or more specifically the possibility of restoration of the data on the hard drives. These are hard drives. They contain information from my work. I don't have a mic, so I'm sorry if the audio is bad. It's all the way in the house, and that means I've got to walk up there. And this is the mechanism that we use. I had used a drill press before. That does okay, but it's slow. This is amazing and fast and fun. Just needs air. Got to turn the compressor on. Earmuffs. Don't worry, I'll kill the audio so that this doesn't hurt your ears. Ready, set. That's what we do. These platters on these little guys are actually made out of like a glass. So just hitting them just a little bit is enough to kill it. And then I flip them over and I look for that little square thing right there. Actually, I usually bounce around that whole board. There are parts in that board that are memory banks that tell where the data is on the drive. So like serial number information, stuff like that. Best possible case of restoration of data from this, you would need both parts and they would need to match. In most cases, it would have to have a really specialized, very smart person to get the data off if you had just one of them. So, puncturing both, not a chance. That's what we got to do. We got 2 buckets I'm going to do. I'm going to switch you guys over to time lapse, and we'll get that done. There we go. Well, it makes a bit of a mess, but it gets the job done. Though I think my days of doing this sort of thing are coming to an end for two reasons. One, my company has mostly switched, and many companies have mostly switched to SSD drives. And SSD drives are not destroyed the same way. Two, everything's encrypted. If we did bring it home to be destroyed, it would be encrypted anyway. So if I just pick one of the chips off, it would be done. On top of all that, we've also moved a lot of stuff to the cloud. So the data isn't even ours anymore. And destroying that is a whole different situation that I don't even want to talk about. I don't even want to think about. This is kind of on the tail end of my days of destroying hard drives. I was saying about them being glass. That's a platter of a hard drive. And it is just straight up glass. Now it may be some polycarbonate or some, may not be glass. It may just be like a plastic or a very thin metal or something, but I think it's a glass disc with a like a magnetic coating. I'd have to look that up to be sure, but that's a chip. But that's what's inside those hard drives. Bigger ones, you can kind of see in there, those are a stainless steel or a metal, because when you dipple those, those discs, those platters are way harder, and they don't shatter. These little ones, they shatter, but the big ones are, they bend in. I think that's it for tonight. I think that I'm going to wrap this up. That is part of the craziness for today. Did not get to the Betsy Ross oil leak today. Maybe that'll be tomorrow. And if so, then I'll probably cut this off and do that tomorrow or whatever. You'll see that next, if that's next, and then I'll do that and then the other thing. And boy, I'm not doing very good at the YouTube thing today. Anyhow, we'll see you. Thanks for stopping out. I was just cleaning up this mess and I had to share this with you. I was like, how did the glass get back here? I don't know how that all happened, but I realized later, I was like, wow, where did all this glass come from? I was cleaning up the ground. Realized I had a glass sitting up here and the vibration did it off. And it just sent glass shards everywhere. None of them in my foot yet, though. Gonna go change my shoes and my shorts.